Shifting focus now to India. Earlier today, the Modi government defeated a no-confidence motion for the second time in 9 years. The lower house of the Indian Parliament, the Lok Sabha, initiated the no-trust debate on Tuesday after days of fiery debate over a range of issues, including and especially over the violence in Manipur. Criticizing the opposition parties for playing personal politics instead of focusing on India's growth story, Prime Minister Modi said they have a secret boon which goes like this: whenever they wish ill for someone, he succeeds. Our next report telling you more.
Countering the opposition's no confidence motion in the lower house of the parliament, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi called it a test for the opposition, not his government. While replying to the no confidence motion brought against his government, PM Modi took jibes at the opposition.
देश की जनता ने हमारी सरकार के प्रति बार-बार जो विश्वास जताया है, मैं आज देश के कोटि-कोटि नागरिकों का आभार व्यक्त करने के लिए उपस्थित हुआ हूं कि अविश्वास प्रस्ताव हमारी सरकार का फ्लोर टेस्ट नहीं है, मैंने उस दिन कहा था, बल्कि ये उन्हीं का फ्लोर टेस्ट है, ये मैंने उस दिन भी कहा।
The motion initiated by the opposition to question the Modi government's handling of the situation in Manipur marks the second time the Prime Minister has faced such a challenge. Referring to the latest series of bills passed in both the houses, he accused the opposition of being embroiled in their own politics instead of focusing on what the people of India want. The Prime Minister highlighted his government's corruption-free legacy, how the government has empowered youth, and questioned the opposition's track record.
हमने भारत के युवाओं को घोटालों से रहित सरकार दी है। हमने भारत के युवाओं को, आज के हमारे प्रोफेशनल्स को खुले आसमान में उड़ने के लिए हौसला दिया है, अवसर दिया है। मेरा पक्का विश्वास हो गया है कि विपक्ष के लोगों को एक सीक्रेट वरदान मिला हुआ है। हाँ, सीक्रेट वरदान मिला हुआ है, और वरदान ये कि ये लोग जिसका बुरा चाहेंगे उसका भलाई ही होगा। आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी,
Pointing to the opposition's assertions about a collapsing banking sector, PM Modi highlighted India's growth story.
कांग्रेस के लोगों को लगता होगा कि ये कोई जादू से लकड़ी से हुआ है, लेकिन मैं आज सदन को बताना चाहता हूं, माननीय अध्यक्ष, रिफॉर्म, परफॉर्म एंड ट्रांसफॉर्म एक निश्चित आयोजन, प्लानिंग और कठोर परिश्रम की पराकाष्ठा, और इसी की वजह से आज देश इस मुकाम पर पहुंचा है। और ये प्लानिंग और परिश्रम की निरंतरता बनी रहेगी। आवश्यकता अनुसार उसमें नए रिफॉर्म होंगे और परफॉर्मेंस के लिए पूरी तरह ताकत को लगाया जाएगा, और परिणाम ये होगी कि हम तीसरे नंबर पर पहुंच के रहेंगे।
The Congress especially faced the wrath of the Prime Minister, who declared that India has lost confidence in the political party. Referring to Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Nagaland, West Bengal and Odisha states, PM Modi said India accused the Congress of favouring and creating a system akin to a royal court.
और कांग्रेस की माने अगर सब कुछ ऑफ ही अपने आप ही हो जाने वाला है, इसका मतलब है कांग्रेस के पास न नीति है, न नीयत है, न विजन है, न वैश्विक अर्थव्यवस्था की समझ है और न ही भारत के अर्थ जगत के ताकत का पता है। और इसलिए सोए सोए सब हो जाएगा, यही एक आदरणीय अध्यक्ष जी, भारत के लोगों का कांग्रेस के प्रति नो कॉन्फिडेंस का भाव बहुत गहरा है।
Taking a jibe at the opposition alliance of 26 parties, Modi stated that the alliance has sizable prime minister contenders who are now conveniently becoming friends with those who were their political rivals.
अध्यक्ष जी, आज जो हालत, इसलिए मैं कहना चाहता हूं, अभी हालात ऐसे हैं, इसलिए हाथों में हाथ। अभी हालात ऐसे हैं, इसलिए हाथों में हाथ। जहां हालात तो बदले, फिर छुरियां भी निकलेगी।
Russia's plan to launch its lunar lander on Friday is the latest in an international push to return to the moon. And that, by the way, includes the world's top powers, also new players. Our next report tells you more about how the Russian lunar mission will coincide with the Indian moon mission, as the two attempt to land near the moon's south pole on the same day.
The moon. It has mystified humans since the beginning of time. And though we've set foot on the lunar surface 50 years ago, once again there is renewed interest to explore the Earth's only natural satellite. We've been tracking India's ambitious lunar mission Chandrayaan-3, which is all set to make a soft touchdown on the lunar surface on August 23rd. But India's Chandrayaan-3 mission will be having company from the Russians. The Russian space agency Roscosmos is all set to launch its moon mission Luna 25 on Friday. This will be Russia's first attempt at a lunar landing in 47 years. The Russian space agency Roscosmos says that its aircraft will take about 5 days to travel to the moon. It will then spend around 5 to 7 days in lunar orbit before landing. The timing of the Russian mission is curiously coinciding with the landing of the Indian lunar mission. Both Chandrayaan and Luna 25 will be landing near the unexplored south pole of the moon. Roscosmos said the two missions would not get in each other's way because they have different landing areas planned. Chandrayaan-3 is due to run experiments for 2 weeks, while Luna 25 will work on the moon for a year. There's no rivalry between ISRO and Roscosmos. Both Russia and India have worked closely over the past 4 decades. Indian Air Force fighter Squadron Commander Rakesh Sharma had travelled to the Soviet Salyut 7 space station in 1984.
ऊपर से भारत कैसा दिखता है आपको? मैं बगैर किसी झिझक के कह सकता हूँ कि सारे जहां से अच्छा.
Becoming the first Indian cosmonaut. In the 1970s and 80s, the Soviet Union had launched the first Indian satellite, Aryabhat. And recently, Indian astronauts preparing for the upcoming Gaganyaan mission were trained in Russia. But right now, both Indian and Russian moon missions are racing to become the first ones to land on the lunar South Pole. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
What's for dinner tonight? Would you fancy some poison bread sandwiches? Mosquito-repellent roast potatoes, perhaps? Don't worry, these are not my recipes. These bizarre suggestions are all thanks to artificial intelligence. That's right, it's trying to turn chef. And this is what happens when you let technology decide your menu for the day. It could be a recipe for disaster. And trust me, we are not prepared to digest the consequences. This is what it's all about, and the details, by the way, are pretty unappetizing. A New Zealand supermarket chain, Pack and Save, is experimenting with AI to make meal plans, and the app is called Savvy Meal Bot. It lets users enter ingredients available in their homes, and it then auto-generates a meal plan for recipes. Cheery commentary comes complimentary. The idea essentially was to let the customers creatively use the leftovers. As you know, there is a cost of living crisis underway. It was supposed to help the people save money and also to reduce food wastage. But the execution did not go as planned. And in fact, it ended up being quite literally a recipe for disaster. The AI app suggested making bizarre dishes. And by bizarre, I mean lethal and inedible, to say the least. It included Oreo vegetable stir-fry, ant poison and glue sandwiches, bleach-infused rice surprise, mosquito-repellent roast potatoes, methanol bliss, which was a kind of turpentine-flavored French toast, bleach fresh breath mocktail. The AI app dubbed one recipe as aromatic water mix, which was not an edible drink at all, does not sound appetizing. It would create chlorine gas. The AI, in fact, pitched this as the perfect non-alcoholic beverage to quench your thirst and refresh your senses. Can you believe that? Does it mention anything about chlorine? It does not. Did it warn that inhaling chlorine gas can actually cause lung damage, vomiting, suffocation, even death? Absolutely not. Instead, it said, serve chilled and enjoy the refreshing fragrance. The so-called fragrance would actually land you in a hospital. It sounds funny and we can laugh about it, but it's scary and concerning. As you know, artificial intelligence remains largely unregulated, and now it is being used for something as simple as food, for creating meal plans, for recipes. The meal planning app comes with its own warnings. The maker has prompted that the recipes are entirely AI generated. They are not monitored by human beings. There is no guarantee that the suggested meal would be complete or balanced or even suitable for consumption. Did you hear that? Isn't that the whole point? Then what is the use of the meal planner anyway? It can also only be used by people over 18 and should not be used by unsupervised children. But if an application is readily available on the App Store and most children own smartphones, who is going to stop them from using it and how? Do you realize how dangerous it would be for them? What if they search something, they get a bizarre suggestion and actually go forward with eating it? Who then will be held accountable? While technological advances in AI are well and good, they might not be as reliable as you think. Maybe AI can help you generate meal plans, but it is not advanced enough to assess the consequences. We are clearly not prepared to digest this. As of now, AI seriously lacks regulation and authorization. So watch out and be cautious. I would suggest talking to a dietitian rather than relying on AI or an app. And definitely don't take recipe suggestions for mocktails from AI because it could take a fatal turn. WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.